Freida and Willie Joe. And boy, he has duded it up tonight. Yes, you are.
Wow. You know what? This is a Monday night. Y'all look pretty good, don't you? Yeah. Pretty good group for Monday night. Willie, Nan, tell everybody hi.
Hi, y'all. Man, y'all do look good.
Well, anything exciting happened to you?
Yes, Nan.
Oh, really? What?
Well, I had a dream last night. A dream that I died and went to heaven.
Wow. Did you walk right in?
You mean you didn't just walk right into heaven? No, Nan.
Well, how come?
'Cause old St. Peter told me, he said, Willie, before you get into heaven, you got to go through the nud tunnel.
The what?
Nud tunnel.
I don't remember reading that in the Bible.
Oh, it wasn't in the Bible, it's in the dream.
Okay. Okay, that clears that up. Well, what happened?
Well, he said, either how deep you go in that there nut tunnel, that's how much sin you did down on there.
Wow. Weren't you scared?
You better believe I was.
What happened?
I took one little step, nothing happened.
Okay.
Then I took another little step, and I went clear up to the shoulders.
Wow. You was pretty bad, weren't you?
Brother Doug's up there, too.
Oh. Oh, how deep was he?
He's up to his shoulders, too, but you run into, he's a lot bigger than me.
Yeah, that's true. Well, was there anybody else up there?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Mr. Richard was up there.
Oh, he was. How deep was he?
You're not going to believe it.
Well, go ahead, tell us.
He just had a little nud on the bottom of his feet.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You and Brother Doug were up to your shoulders, and he just had a little mud on the bottom of his feet.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you wonder what was going on?
You better believe I did. I said, hey, Brother Richard, what's going on? He said, nothing. I'm standing on Tom's head. You're not smiling, Brother Tom.
You know, tonight I just want to give you a little testimony about why I do what I do. It's totally different from most things you have in revival, I know that. But many years ago, my husband used to sing with a group called The Followers. And they were doing really well. In fact, they were recording for Zondervan, and they sang on the National Quartet Convention. And he sang with them for 3 years. Well, while they were gone, I stayed in one church and kept my kids in church. And one night we had this young lady come and do a Valentine banquet. And she had a little fella. I can't remember his name now, too many years ago. But it was so cute what she was doing. I thought, you know, I think I could do that. I really think I could do that. But, you know, I was very comfortable not being in front of people too much and just kind of being in the background all the time. My husband used to be a youth minister, and while he was that, I was in the background all the time, but I took care of a lot of stuff. But I wasn't out in front. I was serving the Lord, but I wasn't out in front. Well, I knew this was going to be totally different. So I had to put a lot of prayer into it. I told Larry, he came home from one of their little tours, and I told him, he said, you know what? I think that'd be real good. He told me many times later, he said, I didn't really believe you'd do it. But he found somebody. He was in revival, I think, the very next week, leading the music. And there was a young man there that was a ventriloquist. And he got information from him how I could learn to be a ventriloquist. So I ordered a home study course. And I learned how to do it. in my bathroom, in my room. That was the quietest place. With 4 kids, that was the quietest place I could find. So I would go in there and I would study and I would practice and I would work. But the first time I did it, I was petrified. I was in front of young people. Young people seem to look at you like, okay, go ahead, make me laugh. At least that's the way I felt. So I did the skit in there, and when I got through, I was just shaking all inside. So I went and found me a quiet place. I knew I was going to have to do a little skit during the fellowship. So I found me a little quiet place. I got down on my knees and I said, Lord, I know you called me to do this. This is too out of the ordinary for it not to be from you. And I said, Lord, if you want me to do this, I have got to not be scared. I pray you'll just make me feel comfortable and give me strength to do this. Well, that night when I did my skit, I didn't have any butterflies, and people laughed. Not at me, but with me. And I said, okay, this is good. This is good. And that began my ministry with Willie Joe. I've been doing it for 43 years. I was 37 when I did my first skit, so you can figure real fast how old I am. I'm 80 years old, so there you go. But when Larry died last year, I hadn't been doing him in a long time because Larry was sick and I was his caregiver. And I thought, well, my ministry is over. But after Larry died, Randy began to encourage me a good while after he died to get Willie Joe back out and do a program for him. He had a Friday night in the living room. So I got Willie Joe out and I started practicing. Every time before that, I opened the door where his case was and I'd just start crying and I'd shut it back up. But then I got it out and I started working. And I really prayed hard. I got on my knees and I said, Lord, if this is what you want me to do, I'll do it. I'll go as long as I have strength, as long as I have a little voice for him, as long as I have memory. The other time I gave this testimony a few weeks ago, and when it got to the part about memory, I forgot what it was I was fixing to say. And then when I said memory, everybody laughed. They thought I did it on purpose, but I didn't. But you know what? God has blessed. I have felt such a joy being able to go back out and do revivals and see people come to know the Lord and people come closer to the Lord. Otherwise, I could stay home and spend my old years sitting in a chair, but that's not what God wanted. Let me tell you something. If you're out there and you think, well, I'm too old, or I don't need to do this, or God doesn't need me, you think again. God can use anybody that's willing to serve him to tell other people about Jesus. Now, I want you to give them your testimony.
Okay, real fast.
Oh, no, just go ahead.
Okay, I used to be a tree. I did. I did. I was in a forest in California, and one day the men came and cut me down. And they took me to the Nile. Now, you may think you didn't run through the Nile, honey, but I went through the Nile, let me tell you. Then they took me to the laundry yard, and I laid there, and it rained, and it thundered, and it lightened, and it hailed, and it snowed. Wait. What? Did it do all of that? No, but it sounded pretty good.
Go on.
Well, one day this man came and he took me home. And he started carving me and making me into what I am today. Good looking.
Go ahead.
Well, he took clothes on me, took me in a great big docks and sent me to Texas. I landed on this Freida's doorstep. She came out, opened it up and looked down, you know. I looked up and started screaming. She took me in the house, took me on her knee and said, "Hi, Willie." Well, I looked around. Whew. Didn't see anybody else, so I figured I must be Willie. she said she had a little voice to give to me. And we are going around the world to tell people about Jesus. We hadn't been around the world, but we sure told a lot of people about Jesus.
That's right.
Tell them bye. Bye, y'all. See you later.